Hey everyone, I've been seeing a lot of buzz lately about Lenovo's ThinkStation P6 PC, especially with creators and professionals talking about how it handles heavy workloads without breaking a sweat. I finally got my hands on one, and after putting it through its paces for a few weeks, I think it's worth sharing what I've found. If you're curious about the specs or want to check the current price, the link is in the description. First off, this machine is built for power. Inside, you've got an AMD Ryzen Threadripper PRO 7945WX with 16 cores and 32 threads running at 4.0 GHz. That's not just a number, it means rendering, compiling, or running multiple virtual machines feels smooth, even when you're pushing it hard. I tried exporting a 4K video in Premiere Pro with several effects applied, and it finished in about half the time it takes on my older workstation. If you're into video editing, 3D modeling, or even running complex simulations, this processor is a game-changer in real-world use. The 32GB of DDR5 RAM is another standout. I usually run a dozen Chrome tabs, Slack, Zoom, and a few IDs at once, and this system didn't blink. I even tried opening a large dataset in Excel with 500,000 rows, something that normally slows my laptop to a crawl, and it handled it without lag. For anyone juggling multiple demanding applications, this amount of RAM keeps everything responsive and frustration-free. Storage is fast and spacious thanks to the 1TB SSD. Boot times are under 10 seconds, and loading large project files is instant. I transferred a 50GB video project from an external drive, and it was ready to edit in minutes instead of waiting forever. If you're working with big media files or databases, having that speed up front saves a ton of time. The Radeon graphics card is integrated, but it's more than enough for everyday tasks and even light creative work. I ran some After Effects previews and they played back smoothly without stuttering. If you're not doing high-end 3D rendering or gaming, this GPU will cover you just fine. It's not overkill, but it's not underpowered either, it's right where it needs to be for most professional workloads. Build quality is solid, as you'd expect from a ThinkStation. The chassis is sturdy, the ports are well placed, and the cooling system keeps things quiet even under load. I ran a stress test for an hour, and the fans ramped up but weren't loud enough to distract me. That's important if you're working in a shared space or at home where noise matters. One thing I really appreciate is the expandability. There are multiple PCIe slots and RAM slots, so if you need to upgrade later, it's straightforward. I added a second SSD for extra storage without any hassle. That kind of flexibility means this workstation can grow with your needs instead of becoming obsolete in a couple of years. Now, it's not perfect. The power supply is large and heavy, so if you're thinking of moving this around often, it's not the most portable option. Also, while the integrated graphics are fine for most tasks, if you're doing heavy GPU rendering, you might want a dedicated card. But for the price and performance, these are minor trade-offs. Overall, the Lenovo ThinkStation P6 with the Ryzen Threadripper PRO is a beast for professionals who need reliability and speed. It's not cheap, but if you're serious about your work, it's an investment that pays off in saved time and smoother workflows. If you want to see the current price or check the specs again, the link is below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. For most buyers, the real question is not whether Lenovo ThinkStation P8 PC Ryzen Threadripper PRO 7945WX 32GB RAM 1TB SSD W11P sounds impressive on paper, but whether strengths like AMD Ryzen Threadripper Pro 7945WX, 96-core processor, 2.50 GHz and Radeon graphics actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement wear off. It is also smart to think about long-term satisfaction. A product like Lenovo ThinkStation P8 PC Ryzen Threadripper PRO 7945WX 32GB RAM 1TB SSD W11P usually feels like the better buy when it stays convenient, comfortable, and reliable in normal everyday use instead of only looking good in the listing.